Yes! My hitbox is here. Now I can finally own moves on Tekken. Fuck playing on controllers anymore like a goddamn peasant. Lol. Let's fucking go.
Round 1. Fight! KO.
Okay.
KO. KO.
This is fucking bullshit. Sigh. If only I could be as good as RedLine or Super Akuma on the hitbox.
RedLine's Tekken 7 Hitbox Tutorial. Introduction and hand placement on the hitbox. Throughout this video I'm going to demonstrate a few hitbox movement patterns that I like to use while playing Tekken. Keep an eye on the different input readings I have on display so that you may find the most effective visual cue for you to learn from. Feel free to pause at any time to practice a movement, even over a few sessions if need be, and come back when you're ready to move on. Be aware that due to the SOCD cleaner built into hitboxes, the button display in the top right will not show all buttons being pressed in specific patterns. In regards to hand placement on the hitbox, there is an optimal position for your hands to rest, based on how keyboards are used so as to avoid wrist pain. However, I believe comfort to be most important as these inputs are rhythmic in nature and require you to be relaxed to maintain consistency. Unless you feel numbness or pain, then you should play how you feel most relaxed. Keep in mind that this is a new way of playing for a lot of people, and you're likely to get sore or stiff hands in the beginning, much like when you learn to play guitar and need to build the muscles required to play. What you need to remember is that it's not important how I'm pressing these buttons, only that you maintain a similar rhythm in a way that you feel most comfortable. Forward and advancing movement. Double tap forward. SOCD dash. And here's another method. Wave dashing or waveru. This can be done in a variety of ways: single-handed, both hands, and machine gun method. Backwards and retreating movement. Backdash. SOCD backdash. Korean backdash, or KBD for short, using down forward, up forward, or cheating with quarter circle back, machine gun method. This doesn't work well with backsway characters. Sidestep cancelling and evasive movement. You may need to change your rhythm up on a per character basis to maximise your distance covered. You can also sidestep cancel using forwards. However, this cannot be done with Kazuya due to his misstep technique on a forward press. Depending on what frame forward is pressed, he will dive either left or right, so functionally it cannot be done. A useful tip for quick evasive movement is simply backdash, sidestep, repeat. This helps to put in distance quickly and pepper in sidesteps so as to dodge long-range linear attacks such as pulled forward 4 and death fist. Here are these techniques demonstrated on the player 2 side. You may find this very difficult to get consistent due to having to move your ring and middle finger independently. Stick with it and you'll eventually get used to it. Mishima movement can be particularly problematic on player 2 side. Now, using these movements in a vacuum is great, but once you're comfortable with this, you should string them together in random amounts, as if you're in an actual match trying to bait out whiffs or maintain a certain distance. Once you're comfortable, you should start to use the AI-controlled dummy, or player matches, to learn the use of these movements within the context of an actual match. Picture it like martial arts or boxing. Beginners start with line training, moving backwards and forwards and left and right. Moving to shadow boxing, where you're expected to mix these movements together. To sparring, where you need to take into account your opponent's range and rhythm. Character-specific hitbox techniques. Electric Wind Godfist, or EWGF for short. Running EWGF. Notice that once Kazuya begins running, I release the forward input before quickly inputting the full EWGF command. Perfect Electric Wind Godfist, PEWGF. Instant while standing 2 with Kazuya. The timing here is a little strict. Input the back 2 as Kazuya is at his lowest point. Instant while standing 4 can be done with a single wave dash forward, releasing and pressing 4 as your character stands up from that. This allows for very quick but smooth kicks. Be aware that if your character has a matching quarter circle forward input for the instant while standing attack, then you will have to use this input instead. Quarter circle forward combos and movements with paw. Faster ways of inputting quarter circle forwards is to flick your finger across the down to the forward or down to back depending on which quarter circle direction you want to input. This allows for much easier inputs of multiple quarter circle forward long combos, as it doesn't involve a piano motion which can take too long. Instant while running movements with Dragunov and Armor King. Make sure that the attack is input a frame after the third forward input. Here you can see me struggling to demonstrate the SOCD version of the instant while running movement, so I loaded up the instant while running tutorial on the official Hitbox blog and looped their video so that I could copy their rhythm. The SOCD version is very difficult to get consistently, and it's not necessary. However, if you are maining Dragunov or Armor King, or any character with an instant while running movement, I would strive to get this movement under my belt. You may have noticed this rolling input of the SOCD dash earlier on in the video. This is absolutely necessary to learn before moving to the second half of the technique. You're looking to input this dash, then during the animation tap forward and a frame later tap 2. Back forward inputs, as seen in Jin's combos. When practicing back forward movements, you need to emphasize the lifting of the back button before pressing the forward button. Not doing so will likely cause you to press both buttons at the same time, thus causing a neutral input. Parting tips. Don't anchor your fingers onto the case or buttons, as this will cause misinputs and stiffness. Remember to practice both sides. The hitbox is very different on player 1 compared with player 2. In the same way that your method of using these patterns is unimportant, it doesn't matter which of these patterns you use. You might find the down forward KBD option to be more optimal than the up forward option, but someone else might find the up forward option to be better since their hands just feel more comfortable doing that pattern. It's all how your hands interact with the hitbox, and as long as you build speed and consistency, then it's not important what's optimal, just play the game. Here are some flattering examples of my gameplay so that you might be able to contextualize certain movements in this video to actual gameplay.